Ain't nothing to it, baby. What it do, yeah? It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that Repent or Die podcast. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Junes, the original for the Bantus, by blood, not by converse. You know I'm out here to splurge with the what? With the word. Give all praise and glory to our ancestors, our heavenly parents, for they are worthy to be praised. I want to give a shout out to all those that's been tuning in, subscribing. We at 30K. The objective is to reach 100 million. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? But all of this would not be if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. So round of applause for all of that. Yes, sir. And got a special. This was supposed to be part two, but part one got intervened and hijacked by Lucifer and his children doing the foolishness and messing with the audio. But you know, what don't break you only makes you stronger. And when you got the ancestors by your side, the only thing that's going to suffer is the evil. You heard? But I got a special guest, and I wouldn't want to say a special guest. I have a family member, a sister from the other side of town, and she's coming around to lay the jackhammer down on you heathens, Hebrews, and the newly installed Heathenites. Next, sis, please introduce yourself and let the people know who you are.
Hey, it's me, A, coming back to you live on the Repent or Die podcast.
Simple. I like that. That's the new intro coming to you guys live on the Red Pen or Die podcast. Are you dumb or are you dumb? So like I said in the introduction, we had a 2 hour long conversation, in depth, full of information. The joint got hijacked by these heathens. But like I said, it still won't stop this message from being brought out. Even if I have to edit it an extra 3 hours, we will get it done. But we're going to continue. But hey, I need you to just give the people just a quick rundown. You know what I'm saying? From let's start off when the year that it started. How did you meet this person? How did this person you know plot and strategize to be in your life to do the nonsense that this person has done to you? I want you to just give a quick breakdown of that.
Okay, so as we were talking about yesterday, I met this person originally in 2000, around 2012. When I initially met her by, I was shopping at a store that she worked at, and she approached me um, as if like she knew me in spirit or something, or she could tell that I was going through something at the time. And long story short, she ended up giving me a book of hers, um, talking about the secret to power, a book about manifesting and, spirituality and stuff like that. So it took me about a year. We exchanged numbers, and it took me about a year. She would hit me up like occasionally. Oh, did you read the book? No, I ain't read it yet. It was just brief. So it took me about a year and a half before I actually was like, okay, let me kind of read this book a little bit. And so I started reading the book, and it started piquing my interest. Like, okay, it's talking about, the law of attraction and attracting the things that you want by, not giving energy to the things you don't want. So that kind of led to me starting to conversate a little bit with her, conversate a little bit more. And that ultimately led into, a friendship after about almost 2, maybe 3 years. And, even though I would have, these feelings or certain moments where something would tell me like, nah, back off or don't really deal with it, I ignored my intuition. I was ignoring myself. Um, because I didn't see, I guess because I didn't see it in the physical or the natural, why something was telling me no. So I continued to be friends with this person. Um, and I noticed, going on year, 5 or 6, that's when, little weird stuff would happen. Like I mentioned last night, she purposely had given me bed bugs. Um, and that should have indicated something to me then, like, yeah, this person really don't like you. This person hates you. Um, but I still continued even after a family member was like, why would you hang with somebody like that? That it sounded like they purposely gave it to you. And I'm like, I still was hanging with this person, and then that led to close to before I the full on situation that happened. As I had mentioned, I started to notice just a little bit when we would smoke. I would occasionally smoke. We would mostly drink, like we would drink when we would hang out, on the weekends and stuff. But, occasionally I would smoke. She was a smoker, but I wasn't much of a smoker. I probably smoked once, twice a year. And I had started noticing when around this time, like we smoked something, and I had a trip, what I thought was a trip. And she, claimed that it was because it was a more potent form of weed. That still should have indicated something to me, and I was ignoring that. And it wasn't until it's 2.5, 2 years ago now, almost 3, when she decided to make her full on move to get me into trafficking, sex trafficking. Um, at this time, when she made her full on move, it was a series of events that happened in what seemed like was a weekend or a night, where I was drugged, I was beat, I was given instructions on basically to get me out of my regular life, to basically come in. She told me I would come and be her slave. I was gonna move in with her, and I was supposed to be her slave. And she gave me some instructions basically to get me away from my family, my job, my um, friends, like people that, to basically get me out of my regular life so that I could basically be trafficked. Um, so that's kind of like a summation of what happened. What else how you want me to,
I mean, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? We're getting straight to the nitty gritty. But I wanted to ask you a question, and I meant to ask you it the last time.
yeah,
Do you feel like that book? Because obviously she was nagging you about that book. When you look back, do you feel like the things that was in that book was like demonic and evil, where she was using that as a way to get closer to you?
probably.
Okay. So the next question I want to ask is, when the time when you was smoking and you was tripping like you said you was, did you see her hit the blunt too?
Well, it was like a vape, and she was a little bit bigger than me. Like she's a little bit more heavy set, so I just assumed that it didn't hit her as hard because she said she was used to hitting it a lot, doing a lot more, and she was a little bit bigger. So I thought, okay, but it's not going to hit her as hard as it hit me. But
Okay.
yeah, I did see her hit the vape.
Okay. So the next question that I gotta ask you, you mentioned and you stated that you was getting beaten. I don't recall you telling saying that. So you was getting beaten as well.
Yeah, when remember I was telling you when she made a move, at first she was talking. When I probably breezed through that part is because it was when I was being raped, um, and being coerced to do things.
Now
Um,
when you saying being raped, was she present and watching these things occur, or she was putting you in a room and she was outside making sure that
she
everything.
was she was there. She was there, and she sounded like. And this part I didn't say. She was like. She sounded like a demon. She sounded like a shapeshifter, like a straight demon. She said, you better something. And I think I breezed by and I was telling you that I had when we went to the hospital, I wanted them to do like a ultrasound or something or an X-ray because she had forced me to eat like this black magic sachet type of thing, like as if it was some kind of ritual stuff that was in this sachet that she made me ingest um, as I'm being raped.
Wow. Okay. The wickedness of this world. Was there ever like candles lit, like because I remember you saying something that she was into like voodoo and stuff like that. Was there like candles lit in her house? So if you walked in there, it looked like you was walking inside of a Catholic church.
No, it wasn't that type of thing. Like she used to have like this little altar looking thing. And I remember one time I was like, "What's going on with all these herbs?" Oh, I was praying or something like that. It was like it looked like some herb stuff that was on the where the altar was. And now that when I look back at it, I remember she used to also have this doll thing next to her bed, which I later, after everything happened, realized it was like a doll for me,
So you
like
saying
a
all look exactly like you or similar to you?
It was a black doll, but you know how a person can use a voodoo doll. I didn't know much about black magic and voodoo and stuff like that, but I didn't at the time. But it wasn't until later that I recollected that okay, she meant that for me. She
Mm.
was doing black magic on me. Um, she was doing black magic and stuff, but I didn't realize that at the time. I didn't realize that until after everything had happened.
And when you said she was sounding like a demon, like like the demons that you would hear in the movies. It was something like that. Like her voice
Like
changed.
her voice deepened, yeah, her voice deepened, and
It was like,
uh,
you better do. It was sounding like that.
yeah, and she had kids present. Her kids, she has older teenage kids, and her daughter. And it was like, so I didn't tell this exact scene. I remember I was telling you when I was outside. Um, we were outside in her house when she first made the move, and we were in a neighborhood. It was a neighborhood where it's like a not so good neighborhood. So it was people walking by, and she like, y'all want to buy something? Y'all want to buy some? Basically, sell me. Um,
I want you. I want you. I mean, I know we trying to keep it PG-13.
mm,
I want you to put that emphasis behind it. Like she was saying, you want to go buy some, you guys want to buy some vagina. That's what she was saying.
something like that, yeah. And
Why
we
you
was giving
was
her
why
money,
you
and
was-
we went in her house.
huh?
When we was outside, and then we went in her house. I was forced to go in her house. She had actually, and I didn't mention this part. She had another girl that she had met at work. She had her in there too. Um,
So she was controlling multiple females, you, somebody else, and you
it was
said
just me and somebody else that I knew of. The girl that she said worked with her, and
and
the girl had to temporarily stay with her.
and her child you said was also present when you was being raped.
Yeah, and it was a girl that I thought we was close to, and she started getting upset, and she walked out of the room. She said, you turning my children against me," but like in a deep, like a demonic voice.
You do you think her children was demon possessed as well?
Yes. Her daughter was already one of those people that was like considered herself like a Wiccan or whatever you want to call it, like a young witch. And then her son was always just very standoffish, quiet.
This is crazy. So, wow. Jeez, this is more impactful than it was yesterday. Hold on.
Yeah,
So,
because it's a little bit more explicit, and I kind of breezed by that. I didn't go into detail with it. It's a little bit more explicit.
yeah, yeah, this is yeah. So now you said you uh, t- t- let's come back to the time when you was talking about the police officer. I want people to understand how wicked people are who was paid to protect civilians and what they do behind the scenes as far as participating in prostitution. Explain to give a brief. Did you and this individual have a sexual encounter?
The officer, the one that I said, the officer that bought me, that was at that stayed in my apartment, and she sold me too. She basically went door to door, and it was this officer. He was a white officer, and I remember hearing him say, "Was she clean?" Because he didn't want to wear protection, and he was like, "Cause I got a pregnant wife at home." She was like, "Yeah, the bitch clean." I omitted my profession, like I work in healthcare, and so she was like, "Yeah, the bitch work in healthcare. She clean. She good." Um, and then the guy, I remember even though I was drugged, I remember talking crap. I was talking a lot of shit. And I remember saying something, and he was like, "No, she gonna remember my face. I gotta kill her. She gonna remember my face." She was like, "The bitch ain't gonna remember you. She ain't gonna remember shit. She's so high. I'll be surprised if she even make it through the morning."
Wow. So did you end up having a sexual encounter with this man?
Yeah,
And after after this situation was adjourned, he just got up and left. Did he still like had thoughts in his mind to kill you?
I actually got and left that part. I don't remember seeing him leave, but after it was done, I remember she made a comment like, "Oh, he said you was good. You heard that?" Like as if she was talking to.
This is crazy. And mind you, this is a police officer who's a European and got a wife pregnant at home. Wow. And you said and you said that the daughter was watching. Like I'm and how old was this?
That's a separate scene. So that was like at a separate time. So the first when it first popped off, it started at her house, and then we drove. She drove me to my house, um, with my car, and then the one with the cop was at my house. But the one where her children were pregnant, and it initially popped off, was at her house.
Okay, so let's go back to her house. How old was her daughter at that time when this was taking place right in front of her? Right in front of
About 18.
and the son was present as well.
Yeah,
And how old was this boy?
I think he was about. I want to say the girl was about 18, maybe 19, because she looks very young for her age. She probably was 19. And he was just a few years younger. I believe he was about 17,
Okay. So
16,
two
17.
teenagers watch an innocent black woman get get raped. Was it a gang rape or was it just like a single individual?
Yeah, it was like a gang rape.
How many people do you remember?
I remember seeing a guy with dreads. Um, I believe it was another guy. I remember I was trying to fight, and he was going off like, "Bitch, lay your fucking ass down." And he would hit me. Um, I remember just feeling like how like it felt unreal, like it was.
This is crazy. I want you to know that my wife is hearing it on the other end, and all she can do is be upset and shake her head because we don't like things like this. You know, as and I don't want to say followers of God, as children of the creators. This is unacceptable, very disappointing. And I'm sorry that I'm asking these questions, and is opening up old wounds or taking the band-aid off, but people need to know exactly what's going on. You feel me? um so after this situation occurred with this so-called gang rape, she put you in the car and took you home.
I remember and this is where it get fuzzy because it's like I want to say, even though I remember most of it, and I was under drugs, I want to say I remember we went. I remember going by. I remember we went by. What is it called? It's a
7-Eleven or something.
It was like a food place, like a Pollo Tropical,
Okay.
and we would stop. I remember her talking and saying something. I remember going by, and then we went to my house. Um, I don't even remember driving to my house. I remember getting to my house, barely being able to walk. She was assisting me um, walking up the stairs, and then that's when we were in, and she got mad about my apartment. Remember, she punched the TV.
Jealousy. Let that be known.
Yeah, she punched the TV, and then I remember talking crap, um, which made her even more mad. And she was like, "These mother effers want pictures." That's when she made me get dressed, or get naked, and then dressed into something. I probably was naked still, I believe. And she was taking pictures. I remember flashes, her trying to make up my face, adjusting my hair, like to take pictures, which I realized after the fact was to, I guess, set up a profile or something for
Like backspace or something like that.
like one of those, I guess, profiles where women sell themselves or something,
Yeah,
or sold on the
on the black market is like back.
yeah, like on the black market basically.
So let me ask you a question. Did you ever have thoughts in your mind to just like fight her and like hurt her and kill her and run away?
I was trying, and at the same time it was weird because it was like, it sounds so weird. It was like talking to her. One minute she would be talking like in this angry voice, and then she would be talking to me like we were friends. And then for a while, I was mad at myself, like, why would I be talking to her like we're friends, and I know that this person is doing that, but I was drugged,
And this drug, because
and
you
it was like,
go ahead, continue, finish what you had to say.
and even though I was drugged, I remember still talking. I was talking a lot of I know I can't probably curse much on here, but I was still talking a lot of crap. Even
Okay. So you mentioned this drug. What is it? It begin with a C. Can you say it again?
a K. I remember asking like, what the did you give me? And she was like, ketamine. I remember saying, I didn't mention this part yesterday. I said, I'm gonna call the effing cops or something like that. And she was like, who do you think gave it to me? I
Wow.
didn't mention that part yesterday.
Wow. So the police gave her the say the name of the drug again?
Ketamine. I learned about it afterwards.
Ketamine. So the police was giving her ketamine I guess she it sounds like she had a lot of it, because I'm sure she didn't just give you just one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you say she was a big girl. So she was how big? Can you describe her height and weight, if you could remember?
I think she was about 5'11". She was a lot taller, 5'11", and she was a little heavier set.
So she was basically a Shaquille O'Neal, pretty much.
Something like that.
Okay. Wow. And all of this and all of this. No, there's another thing. You forget, you mentioned that. You stated that. Let's just recap. Let's go back and let's recap on how did you end up in her house? Because you said something. It was your birthday, and you
Yeah,
decided
it was my
to pull up.
my birthday weekend, and we were supposed to hang out and just have drinks, which is something we would kind of occasionally do. We get together, have basically like a girls' night. We talk, we have drinks, and that's what was supposed to happen. And it turned into her like, okay, and I was telling you then too, yesterday, I was mentioning that at the time I didn't know, but I believe she was already selling me. Like when we would hang out, she would drug my drink or, drug me and then selling me. And then it was to the point she probably was like, okay, now it's time to get this person full on in. And that's when she made her move, the big move on my birthday weekend.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever linked up with her with somebody else? Like, say you came up with your friend, like, yo, yeah, this is my home girl, and this is such and such. Did you ever do that, or she's one of those individuals that she only wanted to see you and just be you and her?
No, like earlier, she met some people.
And the
She
people that
met from,
and the people that she met, the people that she met, did the people tell you like, nah, I don't feel her vibes. I ain't really.
yeah, they
Uh,
felt like I had a guy friend of mine comment. He was like, she don't look like somebody that you would really hang with.
mm.
Like, why y'all like cool? She don't look like the type that you would really be hanging around like that.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question, and I don't, I don't want you to go so far back, but do you think that maybe that book that she gave you and you started reading it was like a vessel opener, open you up to bring spirits in, to color you, to make you gullible. So then it was just because for me, from what you told me from yesterday till today, it seems like everything was like it was a well planned process. Like, give her this book, take her number, keep harassing her until she read this book. You started reading the book. You then, from reading this book, you then now decided to go hang with her. From the book to hanging to smoking occasionally, but always drinking, to now um your birthday weekend, to you getting into this space where you're just comfortable, even though, and the reason why I'm saying that, because even with the whole bed bugs thing, you know what I'm saying, like certain things that would occur, it would have been like a dub. But I feel like maybe something was in that book that you was reading that grabbed a hold of you, that was blinding you to see through the cracks. Can you agree to that?
Probably that I didn't think it was that early on, but probably I felt like it was more so when I mentioned briefly about I remember she was like, "Oh, I learned how to do hypnotism for healing and stuff like that." And she was like, "Let me practice on you." And she did. I remember I was like, "Okay." I gave her the permission to do that. I feel like that's when I was opened up to some stuff, which was some time prior before the big all that had went down. But it's very possible she could have been with the book. It probably did start with the book. I felt like she just picked up on the fact that you can kind of, and I'm like I mentioned yesterday, they go for people that they feel are like like a that's like an easy target is somebody that you could tell has been through things. They're not really close to their family. They don't have a lot of family. They're kind of like timid and stuff. And at that time, like I mentioned, I used to, I was like the black sheep of my family. I was going through my family, and so um, I could see like once everything happened and I got away from the situation, I was able to kind of look back a little bit and realize, like, okay, she kind of peeped me from the beginning because you could tell in somebody's body language. Like, I was looking into something, they were saying they could even tell just by your body language that you're kind of like, like, yeah, they done been through something like that. That I can probably, they're probably easy for me to get in their mind. So it's possible she
Now,
had peeped me from the beginning.
so now about this hypnosis, are you are confident to say that this hypnosis thing is real and it really can be done?
It's real. It's real, especially if you introduce drugs into it and then you programming this person over time. So if I've been hanging with her all this time and then I'm getting with her, like we hanging out and she's been like programming me. Of course it could work over time, especially when you're using repetitive, like, our minds don't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So if you keep telling yourself something long enough, your mind will remember that. So if she's consistently using certain trigger words, or especially when you're on the drugs, of course it's something that could be. I believe that it works. It does.
So about these trigger words, can you give just a few trigger words that she told you that
That I can recall.
yeah.
I remember one when I was instructed on. They were trying to get me to basically away from like trying to pull me out of my regular life. I remember one was she said something about I forgot, it was a trigger word. Basically, when I heard it, I was supposed to have told my family that I didn't want nothing to do with them no more, and like because of the things that happened, and I can't remember that exact trigger word.
Now let me ask you a question. Fast forward to today, 2023. If you was to hear these trigger words, would it trigger you?
I don't want it to. I wouldn't want it to. I've been going to therapy and everything for it, and even my therapist, she used to do hypnotherapy, and I used to try to research it so much, like how can I reverse that? And they were like, basically, it's nothing that you could really do, like besides, like my therapist, like stop focusing on it, stop trying to, because I kept trying to find ways, like how can you reverse it? How can I figure out? How can I do this and that? And she was like, if you go to another therapist and they put more crap on top of that, it's not gonna, like it's just gonna be more jumbled crap. So I haven't found a successful way besides to just, try not to worry about it and hope it don't work. But
But you say you hope it.
going through this situation has been very limiting on, like I'm very limited on the help you get. Most people don't deal like most people. I
It's all right. Take your time.
don't know. I stop obsessing, trying to find ways to reverse it.
So you said that you don't really remember the trigger words, but if you was to hear it, or if you was to hear it and it sound like it was coming from her, because I'm sure if your child, oh, excuse me, no, take that back. I'm sure if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, such and such," would it trigger? But for example, if me myself as a man and I just said the same exact word, would it would it be a same impactful outcome coming from a male's voice or from a female,
No,
or it would be the same thing?
I don't think so.
So
No.
basically, she just had you.
It's
ba-
like a handler. That particular handler that programmed you is like that's the person that it works for, if that makes sense.
So she was the she was the puppet master, pretty much.
Not really because I know it's not. She's a puppet herself. It's you know, but yeah,
Okay. So and and before your escape, you said that there was a police officer, a female police officer that you recall seeing at your place, or was it at her place?
her place.
And when she was there, do you think that she was there because they knew that you was there?
It's related to what we said we weren't going to talk about, kind of,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I just wanted to just put the pieces together.
But
Um,
yeah,
okay. So through this process, because I remember you saying that your birthday weekend you linked up with this person, and this is when you really got to see the real her. But by the time you got to see the real her, is it safe to say she's introduced you to who she really was after you was in a state of paralysm, like you was paralyzed? That's when she
yeah,
saw you,
she's
or was you
that's what she. Go ahead. Sorry.
or was you regular, and then she just told you who she was, and you know, I guess I she did something, and you just broke down and just couldn't move.
Afterwards, it was afterwards.
And afterward, so when okay, let me
Not well after being drugged.
okay, after being drugged. All right. So let me ask you a question. When you came, let's recap that night. You- It's your birthday weekend. She probably hit you up saying probably like, "Hey, happy B day," or "Are you ready for your birthday?" And you should come over, and you like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come over." And she like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have this and that for you." And you went over there. Am I correct?
Yeah,
So then you go over there, and she instantly had a drink for you, or like you seen her pour it, and she poured for you and her, or she already had a drink for you.
I think we made it together. I think I did. I make it. I made it because she had figured. When I look back at it, I already kind of had like trust issue. I was just starting to kind of like trust her a little bit. So I feel like she kind of was playing this little thing with me. Now that I look back at it, where she know how I feel about like her doing it, so she would make me feel like, okay, you go ahead and make it. And so I made it, and but I had started getting comfortable enough to like go to the bathroom. So when I'm in the bathroom, that's when I believe she spiked it or put something in it. But I think I made it that night.
So so when you say make it, I mean like open up a fresh new bottle. You know
Yeah, like it's this fruity drink that I used to like or that we used to drink. It was called like a painkiller,
that's
and
that's
so
the name of the drink.
yeah, so it's something that you blend up. It's like orange juice. It was orange juice, um, rum. It was splash orange juice, rum, pineapple juice. I think that was it. So it was a few ingredients, and you put it in a blender and you make it like blend it up, make it.
Wow. I was just looking up this painkiller juice.
Yeah.
They really got a drink called painkillers, guys. Oh man. So you made your own drink. you was end up getting nice because I could see it
Mhm.
drinking, you getting you feeling nice because when a woman starts using the bathroom, that means she's there. She's where she needs to be. And you're not thinking nothing of it because this is a so-called friend that's that's coming out to so-called
I'm safe.
celebrate your birthday with you.
I'm safe. Safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm safe.
You want to take another 5 minutes?
Yeah, I'm just getting my breathing together because I'm starting to get like my chest starting to get tight. It's
Wow.
safe.
Who's This is real, people. This is real. This is not no acting. This is real. You know? This is somebody that trusted somebody that this person was very patient. You gotta watch
I'm
who
safe. I'm
you
safe. I'm safe. I'm safe.
okay? No new friends like Drake says. Okay? If I didn't know you when I was bummy, you can't chill with me when I got money. Okay? Ah man. Oh man. Whenever you're ready, you just let me know and I'll ask a question.
I'm ready.
You said you ready? Okay. What knowledge do you know about pizza?
Um, isn't that like a code for like the pedophile codes?
Mm-hmm.
But like if they like boys or girls?
Mm-hmm. Something like that. But pizza is, is it's like the number one thing mentioned for the sex trafficking. Did she ever mention pizza to you?
No, I don't recall hearing no pizza.
Okay. And that night after you came out using the bathroom and we're just assuming that she spiked your drink. How long did it take from the bathroom to you drinking again for you to be in a state of parallelism, like you was paralyzed?
I don't know the time. I just know we were outside on the back porch and I just felt like my body felt like I couldn't move, but mentally I was like conscious.
And like, did you give a sign, or was she? Did you look at her and she was looking at you in a way to make sure that you was in that state in order for her to unleash herself and show you who she really was? Or
Um,
doing that in the process, like she knew that once you drunk that, eventually you was gonna shut down. So she just started showing her behind, showing her ass to you.
yeah, she started showing her true colors. She started saying stuff like crazy stuff about um she started saying something about how she tried to get it was another friend of hers in I guess to do something, but that person wasn't she was like, oh good. I don't want to say the person's name, but she was like, oh she mean as hell. She didn't work for her, but you, which was me, she was like, you were easy or something, and she was just starting to tell like basically how she really felt about me. Um,
So are you saying she? So it sounded like she was mocking you, like, "Ha ha, I got you.
mhm.
You was easy work, etc., etc." And then she was.
Um,
Did she give you like
okay.
a chronological breakdown or something, like how she got you? How I started off. I drugged you. Did she even admit that she drugged you?
Um, I believe so, but I don't remember. That's not the. I don't think that was the time when she mentioned about the ketamine. No, that probably was when she mentioned the ketamine. Because I'm like, what did you give me? Because I couldn't move. I couldn't move, but I could hear her. It was like it was dark, and she was like, I could hear her voice coming from this way, and I can kind of see her at the corner of my eye. And I just remember I couldn't. It felt like I couldn't move, like almost like I couldn't even move my head. Like I was just like felt like I was to a chair. Now that I think about it, with the type of drug that it is, it reminds you of like when you're imagine you're like at the doctor's office and they got you um, under some strong medication and you could see but you can't, like get laughing gas or something, but you can't move. That's how I felt. I felt like my body was heavy. I couldn't move, but I could.
Basically, like that movie Get Out, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So let me ask you another question. Um, so after you was drugged and you couldn't move, she was continuously forcing you to take drugs and drink alcohol. Was she's forcing it down your throat, or you were just open and just taking it?
Not at that time. Not right then. I don't. Not then. I remember still drinking it because then it was already it kicked in. When I do remember her injecting me with something was fast forward when it was with that cop guy,
When
but
you
not
say
at that moment when she made her.
when,
Hmm?
when you say injecting, like with a needle.
Yeah, when I was with the cop, I didn't say that part because it was explicit. It's explicit.
So so hold on, hold on, hold on,
It sounds like
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So let's recap that moment, right? This cop is after she told you exactly her intentions and what she was doing and how she was gonna make you her slave, and this is prior. This is after you was in a state of you was paralyzed basically from the neck down. You couldn't move.
that's it's separate. So the cop part, like I said, was at my house. When she first did that, it was at her house. I had went to her house because it was my birthday weekend and I was starting. So the part where it was with the cop, that was a little bit later in the night.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to understand. So the first time she drugged you, she spiked your drink, she got you in this state of paralyzed. You was paralyzed, right? Now
Yes.
the second time, you wasn't paralyzed, but she was forcing you to
I
drink.
was, but I think at that point the medicine may have been wearing off because I remember while in the middle of I remember in the middle of the you know I didn't want to get too explicit in that part, but I remember in the middle, I guess when it would start wearing down and I started something and she said, "Hold on," and she just quickly put something like a needle, like she injected me with
Where did she shoot?
more of it. Hmm?
Where did she shoot this needle?
In my arm in the middle of having sex, in the middle of being sold for sex, and I started slowing down and whatever she that what she gave me, like almost like I need a minute.
Welcome, welcome to America, people. This is $1 billion industry where people you think is your friend is really not your friend. People that you think is your friend is really not your friend. And as a father that has girls, you really gotta educate your daughters. You really gotta be invested into your children, knows their ins and outs, know who they chilling with, know who they around. very important. Why? Because of things like this. Like she said, they know who is who. They know, they can just tell based on your body language and how you move and how you conduct yourself. They can tell if you got psychological problems, family issues, the whole shebang. All of these things is it occurs, and we sit here and we try to live our best lives, not knowing that our best lives can be taken away by the very exact people you consider friends. I don't see, for me, in my 30 plus years on this earth, I have no new friends. I chill with the same people I was chilling with when I was a child. I am a full fledged grown man, bald head, gray, coming from certain parts of my bed, and I don't even play like that. I show love, I give respect, I stay in my lane. But as far as these having friends, and you don't know who to trust, okay? And I'm sorry for the sisters because she's opening up old wounds. She's doing this for you guys. She's doing this for you, so you can be aware, so you can protect your children, because they're attacking our women. Like she says, this was a Shaquille. This is a Shaquille attacking a Muggsy Bogues. You feel me? 5'11", 2 and change. You should be in the WNBA running power forward. Are you dumb? Or are you dumb? But she needs a minute, and she's warming for that. She's warming, and we need to find out what the heck is going on. We need to find out what the heck is going on, people. And like I said before in previous podcasts, everything that you see going on in the world right now, whether it's in the earthquake in Afghanistan, hundreds killed, whether it's the war in the Middle East, the land being opened up in South Africa, the floods that's happening in Dubai, all of these things is going to continue happening until you leave us alone and allow us to go back home. You understand? And you guys may not be biblically sounded. Some of you guys may not even believe in the word. That's fine. That's fine. But we're not going to act like Revelations 18 is not happening right now. The plagues, the pestilence, the famine, these things are happening right now. And it's only going to get worse. And when it gets to the point of no return, the sad thing is we're going to have family members giving away family members for a loaf of bread. That's in the word too. You understand? So I'm sorry, sis. I know it's a lot. I'm just asking questions because I want people to understand the seriousness behind what's really going on in this world. Because we're living in this fairy tale world thinking that this is the best place. There's no place better than America. Uh, Listen, certain things like that in other places, you get caught and somebody even tells and you get caught, you get beaten, stoned, hung, decapitated. You feel me? But it's America, right? So, can you want me to continue asking questions? We good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. So, in that moment, how she could see it in your so every time you was having sexual interaction, she was present and watching, like micromanaging.
Like a pimp.
Wow. And she she could look you in your face and see that the drug was wearing off while you was gaining your strength back or something.
With that situation with the cop, I don't know what I did, if I was slowing down or what I said, but she was like, hold on. And she injected me, like reached out and injected me with something. And then I remember, oh, I don't want to be too explicit on that
Nah,
part, but I remember.
I want you to be explicit, please, please. We got this far. Yeah, just let it loose. Pause.
Then I remember like almost like gaining like some type of like momentum, like from being shot with what she hit me with.
Wow. Did she
Basically.
ever force you to drink something too? Like here, finish this, drink this alcohol right here. Drink or smoke this blunt right here. Did she make you do that too?
Not that I recall.
Did these drugs or these needles that she
This,
inject you with, was it like causing side effects? Like did it make your heart race? Because I remember you saying something in the notion that when the cop was like, "I want to kill her," and she was like, "For what? You drug? She's high. She might not even live to see the next morning or whatever." Did these drugs have like a side effects, like where it was affecting you, like you could feel your heart beating, like it's coming out your chest?
I really like it felt like my heart, but I want to say he said that before we even got started because I remember, like I said, even though I was drugged, I remember talking smack. I probably said something to the effect of, "I'm gonna." Like you would think being in that situation. I mean, and then I'm being drugged. I'm under drugs. That I would just kind of like not like keep your head down so you can try to live. But I remember talking shit like she gonna remember me. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking remember you. I'm gonna tell on your ass. And that's when he made like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill him. She was like, she shut up. She ain't gonna remember shit. I'd be surprised if she make it through the morning. She so I'd be surprised she make it through the morning.
Mm, wow. So and all of this, all of these activities was going on for how many months? Yeah, like was it a couple of months? Was it a year?
No, when this happened, that when the full on thing happened and they were supposed to get me, I was supposed to be getting out of like I was instructed basically to try to like be removed from my regular life. This was like I want to say about over a week, like close to a week span. But that's when I had told you I had woke up. It was almost like I woke up like and started remembering everything. I didn't remember this stuff right off.
Hmm.
It was like a flood of memories came to me, and when it did, and then I started feeling certain stuff. That's when I tried to go get help. I tried to go to the hospital. Well, I did go to the hospital. I went to 3 different hospitals. I called the police, reported what happened to the police. Um, they had tried to basically make me look like I was crazy. Um, and then I found out later they changed my report. I'm calling you to report that I was raped and possibly human trafficking at the time, and y'all changed it to a mental health evaluation.
Wow.
Never been Baker acted. Never been Baker acted. Never none of that. Don't have no diagnosis. Don't take no medication. But why would y'all change my report to a mental health evaluation? They was covering it up.
Wow. That's insane. That is
I
insane.
called y'all to report what happened, and y'all changed it to a mental health evaluation.
Wow. So from your birthday to you gaining all this memory and calling
Oh
it.
yeah, going back with what you were saying, it was close too. So I feel like I told you before, I feel like she been low key telling me when we would hang out, and she probably wasn't able to do it on the level that she wanted to because this was only when we would hang out on the weekends. So she probably was doing it for a while, to be honest with you. Because like I said, I remember hearing her say something to the effect of, because I think her daughter was like, "Oh, you're gonna let her go?" Because I was instructed like, "Okay, give you given a week basically to
Get your affairs.
do this, do that, do this." And I remember her daughter was like, you gonna let her go?" She was like, "Yeah, she ain't gonna do nothing. What's she gonna do? If she try to go to the police, I'm gonna tell them that she been doing this shit. I'm gonna tell her she been selling herself this and that." And I say that to say because there's no telling how many times or how long she was drugging me when we would hang out. Over it could have been over the course of months. And she had pictures and videos of selling me. I didn't remember, and she's using hypnosis. And none of those, not anything that happened prior to that. I don't recall nothing. I don't recall anything. But based on what she was saying, I believe she had. Besides that one time where when I had got high with her on the vape thing, and the guy that was doing the reading, we had went to like this mystical place that had like crystals and all kind of stuff, and we had got a reading. I briefly recall that guy trying to sleep with me, and I was on a trip. But other than that, I don't recall um, like having any memories of her selling me. But I'm pretty sure she was.
So how long did this how long did this from your birthday to this awakening when all these memories started coming back? Well, how long was that?
Close to well, the memories came back. I feel like about a few days after that, the memories came to me like probably a week. I don't know, close to a week. I remember I went to the hospital on my birthday. I don't want to say my exact birthday, but from my birthday to when I went to the hospital, about 5 days.
So basically she was pimping you out for 5 days.
No, I believe it was over the weekend. It was the weekend of my birthday. When that full on move happened, I was supposed to have been extracted from my regular life. I was given a week to get everything in order to be able to come into that. When you say pimping, I believe, going back to what I said, I believe she was covertly or secretly doing this for some time. But as far as her big one move, like, okay, you about to come be my fucking slave. You about to you leaving your house, you turning away from your family, you're leaving your job, you're coming to stay with me. That was over the course. That was from my birthday. Like when I say full on attack, that was when that attack happened. But prior to that, I believe she's been secretly doing that prior to her making her full on move. If you get what I'm saying.
I get it. I get it.
So when you say pimping me, I'm believing she's been doing it a little bit longer before she just made her full on move.
So basically she was just setting up the stage.
Yes,
Okay.
like she was programming me for a little bit before she did the full on, like, okay, now we finna full on make this.
Now, I don't, I know what I'm about the question I'm about to ask might be very sensitive, but I have to ask. So within that time frame, how many sexual encounters did you have, and how many was it you know was you gang gang rape once, twice, three times the lady, or was it
That
once?
I can remember, that I can recall, maybe about 4 or 5.
4 or 5 gang rape activities?
No, not when you say like total part people or
No, it just in
gang rape.
just the whole. It was like four.
No, oh, as far as that, no, I think it was about 2.
So you
So
was
2 from the gang, but when you talk about like the cop and um one other person, it probably was a total of like 5. But the gang rape thing was 2, about 2.
um you ever seen her speaking to her handlers around you? She never did.
Not that I recall.
Did she ever bring you around like prestige and people that has money and all that, or everything that she done and she just kept it in the hood? We don't consider police because the police is bum.
Yeah, I don't think you gonna, if you on that lower, you gotta think these people like her, they on the lower end. So you're not gonna be able to talk to no prestige. I think the next step up is the police because they're able to be, so above her is them. and then above them is probably it goes up on a little bit more up the chain.
Mm-hmm.
But they take people like her who were criminals, and they're like, okay, they put them in a position like, if you don't do this, this, and this, then I'm going, you could be shown, or we can take you for this. And I don't know. This is me just guessing. Like when I did all, like when all this, after all this happened, I just was like trying to look up, a lot of information to try to figure out what the hell happened to me. Like, is this something that's, and I guess I'm saying that to say like, it's like a little organization, um, which I feel like a lot of them, like we said yesterday, you got people who pockets are being lined.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I don't recall at that time, no, because I didn't think nothing. I wasn't thinking nothing of it, like to be like, oh, well, yeah, she's in some serious stuff. I don't recall that.
okay, so my next question is my next question is this is crazy. So you get this grand awakening and you decide to call 911. And after you call 911, was the 911 call after you went to the hospital and you
Yeah,
so
it
prior
was after. Go ahead.
prior to that, when you got your vision and you got your memory back, you instantly went to the hospital.
Yeah, I told my family member what happened. And then I went to the hospital because I was like, okay, I want to try. In my mind, I'm like, I need some kind of proof to be able to have to talk to the police.
Was that noise on my end? That
And
was me.
so I went to. I'm sorry. What you said?
Was that noise that just happened? That was on my end.
That was the AC because
Oh,
I'm outside on the back porch.
okay. Now continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so when I started having memories flood my mind of what was going on, that's when I went to the hospital first. Um, I
And
went to the hospital. I went to one hospital. I felt that I recognized one of the cop lady, so I didn't stay at that one. I went to another one at another location. Tried to get them to run like tests and everything. They didn't want to run any tests. They kept saying like, "Oh, well, when do you think it happened, or how long? If it's been over 72 hours, it's not going to show, or um, if you taking a shower, you're not going to have nothing." Like they didn't even try to even do it. They were just like,
did you have any
and
side effects from these injections? And did she force you to smoke weed too, or
I feel like now I kind of have side effects because I don't always remember a lot of stuff no more. Um,
you got a short term memory?
like I know I still have most like my memory, but sometimes I feel like the side effects to that stuff is I don't always recall a lot of stuff
Do
right
do
away. Like it affects my memory.
mm, do you have like blackout situations where you just like go blank and black out? Do you do do you have anger in?
Um, I don't have blackouts. I do dissociate. Um, where you just kind of like stare off in space, where you just feel like sometimes I feel like I'm out of my body. Um, I did have some anger initially, like when all this first happened, I was very angry. Um, and like I mentioned, I had ended up getting into like some karate classes, and then I started going to the gun range. So I've been in the gun range to try to help that. Sometimes I get angry, and then sometimes I'm like, oh,
If you was to see this person today, what would you tell the person or what would you do?
if you would have asked me this some time ago, I would have said I wanted to kill him on sight. That's why I bought a bigger gun and everything because I said if I ever seen that person again, then it was going to be on sight.
Mm.
But then somebody close to me was like, then you're going to exchange. It says something along the lines of then you're going to exchange yourself from one prison to another. You're already mentally, you're in your mind, and so it's like a prison. So you're going to go from a mental prison to a physical prison if you do that.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to heal. I've been trying to, get closer to God. I try to focus now on the fact that I'm alive. For a while, I was angry. I was angry at my creator. I felt like I was angry at God. Like, why would you allow this to happen? Why would this happen? So now, fast forward, I'm a little bit more trying to just heal. I'm happy that I made it out of it. I had somebody else say to me that was a survivor that I had. Like, I had met a few survivors. And one survivor pointed out, she was like, at least you made it out. So I tried to go from being happy and just from being angry and being just depressed and not wanting to be on this earth no more to I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to focus on the fact that I'm glad I made it out because there's some people that never make it out. And
So
that burdens me too. Some days I get burdened because I think about I'm happy I'm out, but I think about the people that don't. I think about the children. It burns my ass when I see posts like I seen like how I met you, when I seen or how I sent you a message from seeing the Ohio thing. When I see stuff like that, it takes me back a little bit. That still bothers me. That burdens me.
mm, so you said about not wanting to be here. Are you saying you also contemplated suicide?
At the time, I wouldn't say suicide. I just felt like I never contemplated it. I never tried it, but I just felt like why am I here?
You would just
What
quit.
is this for? I wanted to go on a suicide mission. I wanted to go I wanted to go mess some stuff up and didn't care if, like when I say suicide mission, like not me killing myself, but I'm going to go,
Basically going into war knowing that you're not gonna come back.
yeah, yeah. I wanted to go to apartments where it first started, and I wanted to find the one guy that I remembered seeing his face. It was a guy with some dreads. I wanted to get him,
Do you
and I wanted to shoot her. Excuse my language. I'm trying not to say too much because I'm not trying to implicate myself in nothing. But yeah, that was my initial thing.
do you still remember these people's faces?
Not too much. I feel like if I was to be near, I feel like I'm gifted enough to be able to pick up. Like I feel like my body, my what's to call it, would pick up on they probably pick up on their presence, their spirit.
Mm. Do you remember where this lady lives in these areas?
Yeah, I don't think she probably not there no more, but I remember where it's at.
Mm. Have you ever drove past that after that? Or you stay away from that neighborhood?
Um, I kind of drive by it because I have a family member that doesn't stay too far from it. Not directly on it, but like say like a major intersection. There's a major intersection that you would take to get down that way. So I pass by there from the major intersection, but not like directly to it, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And sometimes initially I was just kind of like, I was trying to avoid it, but I'm trying my best to like force myself to get out of being fearful. Even me sitting here talking to you about this, even me, on this live, this is me taking a step and taking my power back.
Take it back, sis. Take it back. Take
I
it.
don't want to live in fear the rest of my life. I'm not going to live in fear.
Take it back. So
And before I used to be so afraid because, like they said, oh, they ain't people, ain't nobody gonna believe you. You a nigga, you black, and we are. It's the truth. Most people they don't believe us.
that's a fact.
They take people like us every day.
That's a
And I
fact.
used to be scared to even tell many people besides people that's close to me. I used to be scared to tell this because it's like it sounds like a freaking movie, but this stuff really goes on.
That is a
This
fact.
stuff really happens, and they don't believe us. But we got to do something just like that. I know this is separate from my story, just like that. I don't know if we can mention stuff like that, like the girl Carly Russell,
Mm-hmm.
like her story. I believe she really was trafficked. I believe that she really was, and she was probably forced to lie and say that it was a hoax, so that she can spare her family and her life. Because look at how much people social media like they got it so out in the open, and they probably didn't expect it to get that big as it did. And so they probably told her, like, if we let you go or we let you, you gotta. So I'm just saying that to say, like, this stuff goes down. Most people don't believe it until it actually happens to them. And like you said, when you're playing with people who, this is a $1 billion industry, they go to some levels to make sure that this stuff don't get, you know,
To between me and you, um, I believe that these individuals that's being caught and children is being set free, I believe that these individuals are basically just the fall guy. But yet
yeah,
after they fall, they don't spend time in jail. I feel like they get released through the back door and they go back to their islands and lands, or they go right back to doing what they was doing. Because I feel like they doing that so the news can report that, look, these officers is really doing their job. The government is really against that. The president, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
But in all reality, these people got their hands 10 toes down, the whole shebang inside this nonsense. You feel me?
Yeah, and I remember you did mention that, and I kind of thought about it. I'm like, you're right. You don't see what happens after they say, "Oh, we did like where I'm at. They just did this sting." It was 160 people that they said they caught in the trafficking sting. You hear about these initially, and then after that, you don't hear nothing about them.
Just
So that makes sense with what you're saying. They could be not doing the real time. They show it at first. After that, you don't hear nothing about it.
mm-hmm.
I feel like they do the stings, like I said too. I feel like they just do these things just to give the illusion that they're trying to stop it. They
Mm-hmm.
want the public to think, yeah, we're trying to end trafficking. And they got these lower level people that they don't care about throwing them under the bus. But what you will never see is them um, exposing who's really, you know, at the top. I don't want to see these lower level people. I want to see who really running it, who you don't never see that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't never say, oh, we caught trafficker that's operating the operation. You don't never hear them say that. They always talk about they doing this thing and they caught these many people trying to buy sex.
Or
You
or
know,
or got caught watching child porn or something. Pure madness.
right?
So I think I asked enough questions for the day. What information would you want to give people?
Um, I would want to get people, like I said, to be aware, be alert, don't trust nobody. I'm sorry, we're in a day and age where now, like, you really can't trust people, even your family. Be weary. If you have children, don't trust your children to go to people's house. I don't care how close you, because you never know. And they like to disguise themselves as nice, and that's the point. They want to, it's to give you the illusion. You don't know what these people doing behind closed doors, or what they're connected to, or they're tied to.
Like the past,
So
that like the pastor you was talking about.
yeah, so be very alert, be very aware, and just keep your eyes open, stay safe. Um, and I feel like I hope eventually we have a collective of people where we come together. We got to do something about it, because it's too many kids. It's too many of our kids. It's too many of us that are going missing, and we're doing nothing about it. We're
Mm,
talking about it. We're talking about who might be behind it, but we're not doing much about it.
yeah, you're right.
How long is this going to continue until it's one of yours? Most people, they don't care until it happens to them.
Hmm. And that's why here we're going to do we're gonna take the initial steps to this door got to get broken. This door got to get broken. It got to get kicked down, and it's gonna take not only survivors like yourself, but warriors like myself to come together and kick down the door, raising the 4-4, or you're gonna hear Junior, please don't slap me no more. You know what I'm saying? We about to backhand all these people. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I appreciate everything. Listen, my wife wrote down something she wanted me to read to you. And I'm gonna read it to you. Even though I said this to you already. I said it to you yesterday, but I wanna give it to you directly from her so you can know that, you know, we are really behind this, not just for her, because I don't want her being in the battlefield, but just to let you know
Yeah,
this is just what we do. You know what I'm saying? As far as loving, genuinely caring for people, repent means change. If you don't change, you're going to die. And this is the podcast to tell you that. You feel me?
yeah.
So this is what she wrote, and I'm not I'm just gonna straight how she wrote it. She says, before you get off, tell her that I'm so sorry that I'm so sorry that happened to her or you. And she's such a brave person for sharing her story to help other women. Also, tell her that we believe her and in her, and we have her back. And she put a heart at the bottom. See if you
Tell
can.
her I said thank you. I appreciate it.
This is the heart. I don't know if you can see it on my end.
Thank you.
So when I finish editing this, hopefully, hopefully this joint don't be echoing. You know how Lucifer
Right.
it's, but if it echoes, so be it. We still gonna drop it. And he that got eyes to see, let him see, ears to hear, let him hear. I appreciate everything that you do. We're gonna continue chopping it up. I woke up this morning. I woke up around like 10 o'clock, and then I seen you sent me a 12-page Aaliyah note. I was like, oh, she's not playing.
Yeah,
So
you seen the stuff I sent you at the time that I had, like, it's a shame, like, I had to reduce that, like, that's the best that I could do at that time. To have some kind of proof to show, like this stuff was,
I
it's
believe
been a journey. It's definitely been a journey.
I know. If I could give you
And
a
I hate that our people are still, we're in 2023, and we're still going through slavery. They're just changing the way that they go about it and they do it.
mm-hmm,
And they try to hide it. It's definitely, it's been a journey.
mm-hmm.
But I know that I'm here, I'm still here, because I know it's something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's for a bigger purpose. So,
Listen, if I could have gave you a hug, I would have gave you a big old, you know, brother to sister hug and tell you we here, we outside. And we I'm gonna get you right. You know, I'm gonna get you right physically. I'm gonna get you right spiritually, and I'm also help to get you right mentally. And we gonna and we shall win at the end. You know, we gonna fight. We ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for everything. You know, you ain't gotta.
Thank you for having me on here. Tell
Nah,
your wife I said thank you too.
I got you. I got you. You very welcome. And you know, like I said, we're gonna this is just the first of many. You know what I mean? You wanna come on and you just wanna invent. And if it's therapeutic for you, it don't have to just be about this situation. It could be about anything. You know what I'm saying? If it's gonna cause a state of mental clarity and bring closure and peace, then I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? And just know that you got a brother now, so you know you ain't alone, and we gonna get this right together. You feel me?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Any last words for the people?
Just to the people, man. Stay prayed up, stay in your word, and just stay aware and stay alert.
Well, there you
Okay.
go. There you go, people. So as we conclude, I would like to say thank you for everybody that's been tuning in um to support. Reach out to me on the Repent or Die podcast. The Repent or Die podcast #1 on IG, ROD podcast on TikTok. Um, I'll be honest with you, I let my domain name go, so I no longer have a website. That is, well, I wouldn't say I no longer have a website. The website is under construction, and we here. So please continue supporting. I wish I could give you my sister's information, but for safety reasons, it's a dub. And when she builds that courage. Oh, and one last thing too. Matter of fact, we're not even gonna talk about that. We're not even gonna talk about that. We'll save that for another time.
Okay.
Continue supporting. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. You know I came to you guys live. You know what I represent. And for those that don't know who I am Mr. Keep My Foot on you heathens, you Hegroes, and the newly installed heathenites next. Are you dumb or are you dumb? Father, say that one time for the one time. And we gonna holler at y'all. One.